Well, thank you very much for the introduction to this incredible machine.
Of course, we've only scratched the surface, so let's go flying.
Several months later.
Nice, smooth application of power. We're looking for 70 knots on the takeoff roll, and then just squeeze the stick rack, and we'll be flying.
Amazing.
Ready to go fly your first circuit?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll wait.
let's do it. Here at Wabaka, the altitude of the field is 820, so call it 800. So our pattern altitude will be 1800, and it'll be right traffic for runway 28. For the takeoff, like we talked about on the ground, we're going to be, fuel pump's going to be on, mixture will be full reg, you'll just bring the power in 1, 2, 3, nice and smooth. As you bring that power in, you'll need a little bit right rudder, so make sure that your heels are on the floor. Left hand on the stick. As we get to right about 70 knots, you'll feel the plane getting light, and all you're going to do is just make a fist. Yeah. It's just a little tiny easing on of that back pressure, and we'll fly right off. Generally, pattern speeds are going to be 100 on downwind, 90 on base, and 80 on final. I'll kind of walk through some like visual cues once we're up there.
Yeah.
But there'll be a little green flight path indicator that comes up on your PFD. That's a really nice double check. If that green circle is on the numbers of the runway that you see on your PFD, you are lined up pretty great. Parking brake is right there. You can push that in, and that parking brake indicator is off, so we know it's off. Add some power, and you can just taxi us to the runway, and I will make the radio calls. It's not a steerable nose wheel, so you're going to need a little bit of differential braking. Now we'll just run through the checklist here. CAPS handle is armed. We're at 800 feet. At 1400 feet, our CAPS becomes available. If anything happens on the takeoff roll or below that 1400 feet, we're going to pull the power back, put the nose down, and just land straight ahead. Hopefully we have some runway left. If it's between that 1400 feet and about 3000 feet, we're going to reach up and pull CAPS immediately. And then above 3000 feet, we're just going to assess the situation and probably return back to the airport. Flaps, we're going to take off at 50% flaps. So go ahead and put your hand up there, move it down to 50%. So go ahead and bring the power up to 1700 RPM. Go ahead and give me a mag check. Flight controls, if you just want to run the box of the flight controls. And our trim is set for takeoff. Final's clear. I don't hear anyone coming in. Doesn't seem like anyone's coming. Go ahead and take the runway. Runway 28 as indicated on the safe taxi. Runway 28 on the runway, and we're ready to roll. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Line your shoulders up on the center line, looking good. Straighten out that nose wheel, and go ahead and give her the power. Gorgeous. Keep giving her the power all the way to the stops. Beautiful. All right, keep a little bit more right rudder in. All right, so airspeed's alive at 50. Cross-checked. Engine looks good. Smells good. We're looking for that 70 knots. So there's that 70 knots. Just give it a little squeeze. Perfect. Oh, beautiful. Now reach forward with your right fingers and bring the flaps to 0. Perfect. All right, looking good.
It immediately felt so fast and powerful.
It's a lot of power. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead and start turning your crosswind. So to the right. Beautiful. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off your flight director because now you don't need it. All right, good stuff. So that's our CAPS altitude. CAPS is available.
Do I need to avoid overflying whatever that is?
No, you can just keep the turn coming to the right.
Okay.
And we're going to turn downwind. Now, go ahead and bring the power back to about 50% and keep that turn coming. You're going to level out at 1800 and start looking over your right shoulder. You can see the runway where you're aiming at.
I can't actually see it from here.
Okay, so bring the power back. Keep the turn coming around and bring the power back. This looks absolutely perfect. So we're 50%
Slow down
power.
a bit.
Nope, this is good. This is good.
Okay.
You're good. All right. So see how the very end of the wingtip is kind of aligned with the runway?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so now you can start bringing the power back. Bring it back to about 18%. Somewhere between 15 and 20%. And you can reach forward with your right fingers. Put the flaps at 50%. And it's going to balloon just a little bit. Beautiful. All right, so now I want you to start pitching down. You can pitch down for 100 knots. Pitch that nose down, and you're looking for 100 knots. All right, so if you look back over your right shoulder, you can see the airfield?
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. About when you're about 45 degrees, which is about now,
Yeah.
you can go ahead and turn your base and keep that nose coming down. We might need a little less power, so maybe try 15% power. Yeah, gorgeous. And we're just gonna pitch that nose down. Gorgeous. Yep, looking really good. This is my base, looking perfect. This is great. So you're basically pitching for about 90 knots. I'll bring the nose up just a little bit. Beautiful. This looks perfect. Great, so we're almost approaching final. You can go ahead and put that second notch of flaps down and start turning your final. Now here's where the art comes in a little bit. We want to pitch for 80 knots. We don't want to be slower than 80 knots. So you're getting a little bit slow, so go ahead and like lower the nose a little bit. If you need to add a little bit of power here to hit that 80 knots, that's okay. But what you want to do is kind of like combine, you're looking for 80 knots, you might need a little goose of power and then bring it right back.
Yeah.
But you want 80 knots and you want to line your shoulders up with the center line.
Yeah, I turned too early there, I think.
So 80 knots, looking good. You want to keep that green dot pointed right towards 28, looking good. We're back at traffic 301 Fox Charlie is final for 28. This looks perfect. Gorgeous. Nice. Beautiful. All right, so go ahead and bring the power back. You want to kind of adjust your gaze towards the end of the runway here. Hold it off, 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 hold it off. Is powered all the way up? All the way out. There we go. Perfect! Rachel! That sounds so good!